Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, good evening, my friends. This is Angy Stewart from Mia Inner Light, and we are here live on Kardec Radio. Today is Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Welcome, welcome. So if you are new, let me just open comments so I can see you. So if you are here watching via YouTube or via Facebook, please write something, say hello, make a comment, ask a question, because I cannot see your name if you don't write anything. So participate, join us. So before we start the study of tonight, I just already want to let you know few announcements that are important. I know that we will have a few people join us, but they will be listening to this recorded. So we are in the end of January, and the next month, February 2021, we will start new activities. So Mia Inner Light is growing. Yay! After 3 years, we are growing. So we will have different studies in different days. So right now, we are thinking about having a study on Monday and another one on Thursdays. So my study that I do every Thursday from 9 to 10, I will actually do two studies. One from 8:30 to 9, that will be this book, What is Spiritism? And then I will do another study that will be the God at Home connected with the irradiation treatment. So the irradiation treatment is actually new. So this is for all of you that always write me asking me to pray for family members, for friends, for yourself, for people that are not feeling good. So this will be the time for all of you to connect with us, to be able to get your energy with the enlightened spirit as a group online, our group online, and then we will be irradiating these positive energies to our friends, to our family members, and even to ourselves. So this will be what's going to be happening in February of our activities, our studies, our live studies. Second thing is that you probably know that we are raising funds to be able to become a non-profit. So please help us to become a non-profit. You all know that we have been doing so many different types of charitable projects during these 3 years. Many things had happened. The most famous one is the Loving Bags for the Homeless that just happened in December 2020. But we did so many other things, including the Loving Mail for the Elderly and the shows, the Christmas shows in the nursing homes. Because of the pandemic, unfortunately, this is very limited. We can't even visit the elderly nowadays, but we will want to return with our activities, bringing more love to more people in need. But for this, we need to open this non-profit, and it's expensive. But we got 6 wonderful gifts, and we are doing this raffle. We have a photo shoot. We have a photo shoot, the white teeth treatment. We have a 1-hour massage, Zoom cooking class, a huge box of the French macaroons, that French dessert, and also a whole week of delicious gourmet soups. And you can buy 1 ticket for $10, you can buy 3 tickets for $20, or 5 tickets for $30, or you can buy as many tickets as you want. The drawing will be on March 7th. So please help us to be able to raise funds. Consider $10 as a donation if you live in another state, but please make an effort to help us. We really need it. And as I always tell all of you, anytime we get together and we are going to do something that will boost our energies and elevate our morality, intentionally trying to make us to become a better person. And of course, prayers will be involved. I always tell you to put your bottle of water, because this bottle of water will be energized with your medication for this whole week until we get together next week. So whenever your water is diminishing, do not allow it to finish totally. Put more water and do another prayer, and then you will have constant positive water with this special medication. Okay, so let's start. Let's do our prayer so we can jump in our study of tonight. God, our Mother and Father, thank you so much for bringing us here together to study, to improve ourselves, to help us to be more loving, more forgiving, more understanding. Help us to boost our energy. Help us to stop complaining about the difficulties in life. If we are going through a difficult moment, it's because we need to go through it in order to learn, in order to overcome difficulties or our faults from the past. So please help us to be encouraged, to have this inner faith, and to be strong, to work in order to overcome it. Please send these good vibrations to our friends who are not here right now, but might be coming soon. Thank you, so be it. Awesome. Very good, my friends. So 9:08. So the first half an hour of the study, we studied this beautiful book, What is Spiritism? We have been studying for a few weeks, and we have read the whole bio, the whole information that Henri Sauce brought to us about the life of Allan Kardec. Who was Allan Kardec, and he even brought information from before, like how Spiritism actually ended up in France. So if you want to know all this information, check out our previous videos, go to our YouTube, Mia Inner Light, and there you're going to be able to check all our videos and you're going to be able to understand everything. So tonight we are already in the prologue. So the biography of Kardec finished, and we saw last week that he died, and many newspapers of France and many other countries were talking about him. So now we are going to jump in the prologue. So the prologue is like a summary of what is this book. And it's very interesting because Kardec wrote this book with an idea in mind to make a summary of what is the whole philosophy. So just to avoid people that were like lazy, or people that knew something but they were not really into reading much, so he did this summary in a funny way, because he created dialogue. He mentioned that there is like a collection of many dialogues that he had lived through, that a lot of people mentioned the same type of questions. So he created 3 dialogues, but we are going to be reading one today. And this dialogue is from a person that do not believe in Spiritism. And then Kardec mentions how he deals with it. So I will share the book with you, and I will be reading, so you will be able to understand. Let me go back to the hope my internet is not playing tricks. I hope you can You can see me. We are the issues. Hello, hello. What? I think I'm having trouble. Oh, okay. Hopefully it will work. Hello, Yvonne. How are you? Nice to have you here. So, if you guys are seeing this study, please write something, make a comment, a question, because I cannot see your names if you are not here. So, I think the internet is stable right now. This is prologue. I will be reading comments. So, those like who have only a superficial understanding of spiritism will, of course, lead to ask certain questions about it. Often they lack time and frequently the willpower to undertake an ongoing study. So here is Kardec saying why he decided to write this book. Exactly because of this. People are always busy and they don't have time to separate, to study, to fully understand some. So imagine this was in the 1800s. 1800s, when we actually had much less distractions. So in the 1800s, we didn't have TVs, we didn't have Netflix, we couldn't be doing so much that we are doing now with the phones, with WhatsApp. But even in that time, people didn't have much time to dedicate to certain things. So Kardec wrote this thinking about it. So he continues. It would be useful to provide in a concise form the answers to some fundamental questions that asked of us every day. So that's what he said. The most important questions that every single day people asked him. So the first chapter, he creates this dialogue with the conscience of those who are unaware of the doctrine's primary fundamentals, as well as they refute the main arguments of its opponents. So this is for the first chapter is really dedicated to the ones that are totally against spiritism. And that's how Kardec deals with this type of person. So the second chapter is an exposition of the science practical and experimental aspects. So basically, this is a summary of the and rectifies the objection, such as the goal of the little section. So he will talk about the mediumship phenomena and he will try to make people to understand how it's possible. The third chapter is a summary of the Spirit's book and is a solution to a number of problems of great psychological, moral, and philosophical interest. So problems posed daily and for which no psychology, no philosophy, I'm sorry, no philosophy has yet provided any satisfactory solution. So basically, for beginners, it draws the essential notions of Spiritism, but for the adherents, for the ones that already know Spiritism, it will furnish them the means to respond to the main objections under a concise form of principles never lose sight. So helpful for the beginners that know very, very little, but also for the ones who know much better, but now we'll have a direction on how to answer questions like this when they are asked for. So Spiritism is simultaneously a science of observation and a philosophical doctrine. As a practical science, it consists in the relations to be established with spirits. As a philosophy, it entails all the moral consequences that result from such relations. So Spiritism is a science that deals with nature, origin, and destiny of spirits, and the relation with the corporeal world. So this is very, very important for all of us to understand. So why it's called a science? Because it is a scientific way, a methodological way, I don't even know if I know the word, that will help us to deal with nature, origin, and destiny of spirits, and also with the relation with the spiritual world and the corporeal world. And as we know, Spiritism really answers many questions that other philosophies do not answer. Spiritism really helps us to understand lots of things that in other philosophies, in other religions, they just say because only God knows. And the Spiritism helps us because we have lots of books that were psychographic by mediums, and we know Xavier, one of the most famous one, that was able to help us with this brought from the spirit. I don't know why the internet is so weird like that. I think I'm back. Okay, so this is the first dialogue. It's called The Critic. And the critic is this person who does not believe in spiritism and goes to talk to Kardec. So this visitor, he refused to accept reality of this phenomena attributed to spirits, which I am convinced exist only in the imagination. So he's already telling Kardec, I am sure this is just imagination. And then he says, however, one would have to bow down, like I would bow down if I present with the uncontestable proof. And he asked the patient just one or two experiments in order to be convinced, if possible, to be convinced. But Kardec, he does not like this type of people. You have to understand that Kardec was dealing with this type of people for a long time. So this is not something new for him. A lot of people went straight to him and attacking the philosophy of the spirits. And so he had been dealing with it for a long time, and he learned how to talk to those people. So what he basically tells the visitor is that, um, your reason refuses to accept what we consider to be established facts. It is because you believe it to be superior to your reason of all other persons who do not share your opinion. So he's telling to the visitor, he said, well, so you think you are superior to us because if it goes against something that you do not believe, all the other people are crazy, are wrong. That's basically what he tells to this visitor. And then he continues, let's accept the fact that I am wrong, since your reason says that I am, and therefore there is nothing more to be said on the matter. So Kardec was basically telling the guy, okay, bye, thank you, bye. That's what Kardec was telling him. Or insists. Let me share it a little bigger so you can also read. So the visitor insists, and he says, I'm widely recognized as an opponent of your ideas. And if you were to convince me, it would be a miracle eminently favorable to your cause. So he basically is telling that everybody knows I don't believe it. And if I ever change my mind, this will be fantastic for you. And then Kardec says, I'm sorry, sir, but I don't have the gift of performing miracles. And one or two sessions would be enough to convince you. Only one or two sessions. And then he said, it took more than 1 year of study for me to become convinced. So if you in the study for the previous months, you will see that in the beginning, Kardec didn't even want to deal with it, because it was not called the Spiritism. This was him who named the doctrine, the philosophy. It was the movement of the turning tables, that everybody used the turning tables to have fun. They didn't have Netflix, so they had the turning tables where the spirits used to talk to them with a very difficult methods to be able to answer yes and no. And Kardec didn't want to participate of it because he said, this is some kind of entertainment. I don't want to participate of these games. I want to do something serious. If you want to know how he ended up being involved with it, go to check our other videos. So Kardec continues, I don't offer public sessions. Like meetings, they were private and they were connected to study. Nothing fun to play. And he said, we do not perform experiments in order to satisfy people's curiosity. So right there, you see how Kardec is serious. Like, I'm not going to create a show for you to be convinced. This always tells us that a person is not open-minded to understand something, anything can happen. A spirit can actually materialize here right now. Their own mother can appear here right now, and he or she will say that it was their imagination. This was like a person that created a hologram. They will invent anything. Like if you study a little bit more about Spiritism, you will see that there were all kinds of crazy theories that were created, even like the crackle of the knuckle. That's what made the noises. So it's like so many crazy things, and they didn't believe in it. But that's what the spirits tell us. When a person is like that, nothing will convince him, only another lifetime. And Kardec didn't want to waste his precious time convincing someone that does not to understand. Then the visitor says, so you do not try to win a convert. You don't want to try to convince people. He said, why would I want to win you over as a convert? Why do I want to convert you? I can't make anyone believe. When I meet individuals who sincerely desire to learn and who give me the honor of asking for explanations, it is my pleasure to them with the limits of my knowledge. I do not make any effort to dissuade them because I can find plenty of persons who are willing to be convinced. I don't have to waste my time on those who are not. Convic- uh, Conviction will inevitably come sooner or later. And why Kardec says this, conviction will come sooner or later? We know that the Spirit says that the life here is limited. We will all die and we will all cross to the other side. And at this point, I have to tell you that my father-in-law, who I love so much, I always talk to him about the spiritism, about spirits, about the mediumship, about me talking to spirits. He loved me so much, but he did not believe. He was like always telling me, "Oh, Angie, I'm sorry, I love you, but you're kind of, don't come with these stories because I don't believe." And then at one point, I said, "Yes, why I'm gonna try to?" I was not trying to convince him. No, I'm not trying to convince. I was just telling him things that used to happen to me, things that I used to see, and sometimes I used to tell him things that might will happen when we cross to the other side. He was a Protestant, and he believed in life after death, but with his limitations. And then he died. And then I was like, of course, I was devastated because I love him so much, but not long, like I think within 5 or 6 months, he came to visit me. Yes, he came to visit me, and I was super excited. This was fantastic. I was so happy. He looked much younger. He looked much stronger. He was not as sick as he was when he died, and he came smiling. We didn't talk much because he was still under some kind of treatment, certain limitations, but he came to talk to me, and I was so happy. And I was like, as I used to joke with him before he died, I used to joke with him like, when you cross over, you will come back to talk to me. And he used to say, "Oh, Angel, stop with this craziness." And I said, "It's not craziness. You will do it." And then, boom, he did. He already came 3 times. So this is basically what Kardec is saying. If people do not believe, do not worry about. A time will come that we will all cross over and we will all be in the other side. And if we are familiar to it, the adaptation will be easier. If we are totally unaware, it will be a little bit more difficult. But of course, depending on our moral evolution, we will receive more help or less help. So that's why we have to work hard on our moral evolution so we can receive more help. So let me just see here. It's 9:30. Let's stop here. And let's go to our second phase. That's the gospel at home. So I will bring my guests. Today we have Teresa Castro. Hello, Teresa. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you for the invitation back, Angie. So nice to be here with you and John. Hello, John.
Thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you. And we have John Raphael. Hey, John, how are you?
Uh-oh.
I can't hear you. Uh-oh, I can't hear John. But John, while you try to fix your sound, so John is here from Miami. So both Teresa and John had been here with us for Teresa for many times. John is actually the second time. Let me just see if I can make our windows a little. Let me see this like this. Okay, very good. Let me remove the yes. Very good, John. Can I see if, can you say anything?
Oh,
John, you are on mute. I can't see you on mute. Uh-oh. I don't hear you. Try to disconnect and come back again because something happened and we can't hear you. So if you disconnect and come back, we might be able to hear you. So let's go. While John is coming back, we will be studying tonight. We will be continue studying chapter 13, and we will be talking about the beneficence. It's a longer chapter. There are many messages about the beneficency, and some beautiful messages, very touching messages. So hello, Nora. How are you? Nice to have you here. So let's hope John can come back, but we can start. So hopefully we will be able to finish beneficence, and we will go into compassion. Beautiful feelings, beautiful feelings that we all would like everyone to have in excess, but it's not true. We don't have it in excess. We actually lack it most of the time, and it's tough, and it's like, oh, God, help us. So that's why we are here trying to see if we can get like this boost of beneficence within us. So let me read a little piece here, the number 13, because it's so beautiful, the beginning, and then we can talk about. So the number 13 says like this: I am called charity, and I am the main road leading to God. Follow me, and for I am the goal toward which you all must strive. Beautiful. And it's true. In Spiritism, we understand that without the charity there is no salvation. So it's not without church, without intelligence, without money, but it's actually without the charity. And this is one of the things that we always talk to people that are also having difficulties with anything. They are having all kinds of internal problems. They are going through depression, going through anything. We always mention the importance of charity. And then people say, why? But when you are devoting your time to something else, you actually stop of focusing only me, and you, for even if it's 1 hour a month, for 1 hour you look into someone else, and you see, wow, this child has no mother and father, or this elderly is abandoned here in the nursing home, or this man is homeless, and look, it's raining and he has no place to go. So for that moment of time, you actually open your mind to see other people's problems that sometimes are much bigger than our problems. So this is just to start. So what else can we start talking, Teresa?
well, we've been told by many of the spiritist authors that um, charity is the first of all virtues. And when we talk about beneficence, I'm not saying that so well.
Beneficence. Beneficence.
Beneficence. Yes, beneficence.
Yes.
It's doing the good. And it's and right here in this reading, Kardec talks about, or the Spirit talks about, it's inexhaustible. Doing good is on and on and on and on. There's not a limit, and that's a beautiful thing to know. I think, in this first item, number 13, where there's John.
Can you hear me?
Oh, good. We can hear you. Hey, John, we are talking about beneficence. We are commenting on number 13, the message from Caritas. So Teresa is giving her point of view. Yes, Teresa.
Yeah. So I think in this first section, there's a lot of talk on the reminding us how strong the physical, the material being is. That, you know, this spirit is talking about being in their presence, and they're so forlorn and, you know, just worried and not sure they're going to be taken care of. And it's you know, it's amazing how strong the physical and the material is. Um, and it's good reason why, you know, they say, you know, giving food and providing for physical comfort is, you know, it's hard to talk about the good news when someone is starving, or when, you know, they haven't had proper care, or they're not feeling safe. So we need to remember and, you know, be grateful for these, um, you know, this level of, you know, physical care, physical needs are met for us, and they're not for so many people. And so it is that idea of, you know, that is one way of being charitable, is, you know, providing those means for people. Because again, you know, when your belly's full, or you're exhausted and your physical body is ill, it's hard to hear the good news or think of anybody else when you're, um, when your own needs are not, when you know, you're not taken care of, you're not in the best place to help other people. So
Oh,
that,
yeah.
yeah, I felt this number 13. And the interesting thing too is I was kind of looking up, because this number 13 was by Caritas, which they said is a spirit that was martyred in Rome. And Angie, I don't know if you know about this, and maybe, you know, you can correct me, but it said that in the early Christians, when they would be baptized, they would take on Christian virtues for names. And so this Caritas was a group of spirits: faith, hope, and charity. And
Mm-hmm.
their mother was Sophia. And
Mm-hmm.
these three, I believe they were all women, were martyred right in front of her, and her three children. And so anyway, it sounds like there's some religions that acknowledge their martyrdom and some don't. But it was rather interesting. I didn't know that story, so I just shared that.
Wow. Yeah, there are so many stories about the Christians of that time, but I didn't know about specific about the characters. So interesting, interesting. Where did you search about it?
I just really went online, and yeah, so um, I didn't really look much further. But it is interesting because this Sophia is often sometimes also known as, like, as another name for Mother Mary in some cultures. So
Oh,
yeah, so I
wow,
think,
I didn't know that either.
yeah, I think
Interesting.
sometimes it's more just to see that feminine, those feminine spirit. Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Interesting. And John, what do you have to add? Not just about 13, but beneficence in general. Any of the messages?
Well, the messages in this chapter I think are very interesting because charity is just not almsgiving, as as the next section tells us. You can be charitable in many ways. You could be charitable just asking a person, how are they doing? Giving them a smile, giving them some support. I like the chapter because it tells you there are different ways that you can be charitable, and it's a
Mm.
necessary part of our journey. I think
Yeah.
of one circumstance I had. Sometimes God, angels, the universe makes it so easy for you to be charitable. I remember in experience, one day I was working in my office, you know, I'm a dentist, and a person came up, one of our patients came in that happened to be a Sufi, and she said she had a gift for me, and she brought a beautiful prayer that was suitable for framing in Arabic. And she said to me, this was given to me by an imam and if you accept this gift, you must give to the poor today. So I said, thank you so much, and I accepted the gift, and it was so busy that day, so busy. I needed to go to the bank. I didn't have any money in my pocket. And anyway, it was so busy. Then all of a sudden, in the middle of the afternoon, the secretary whispers in my ear, there's a man here who has a gift for you. I say, a man with a gift? Yeah, he came from the Chamber of Commerce. I went out, I said hello to him. He said, you have a gift of $150 from the Chamber in credit cards as a gift for helping the Chamber. So I said, thank you. I put it in my pocket. Okay. And then by the end of the day, I asked the people at work, I need to give to the poor. How do I give to the poor? And then I had an emergency patient, and it was close to 8:30 at night. I said, God, I took the gift. I will give to the poor tomorrow. I went home, and I get a call from my mother-in-law. Her father-in-law is sick. He needs something for pain. He has a bad headache. He can't walk. He can't talk. And I said, well, she says he needs some Advil that he can drink. And I don't have any. He said, Mom, I'll get it for you. And then I'm walking, and there was a man who, when I have breakfast sometimes in the morning, was a person who never asked for anything, but you could see he was homeless, and I give him money now and then, and that's the only time I saw him. At 9 o'clock at night, I went to the pharmacy, and there's the man standing in front of me in the pharmacy. And I go, I don't have anything to give him. And then I feel in my pocket, and there's the 3 credit cards that they gave me as a gift. So I went over to him and I said, do you know what these are? He says, oh yeah, they're instant cards. And I gave it to him. So somehow the universe contrived to give me the opportunity, the blessing, to give charity to someone who I never saw except in the morning at that time, so that I can at least fulfill. And then the funny thing happened. I gave that prayer to a person to frame, and a month later she came to me and said, I'm so embarrassed I can't find the prayer. So maybe that was the universe. That man needed that money for something, whoever he was, and that was a way to get that person the money that he needed that day. So it's wonderful how loving, how compassionate, how charitable, not just us, but the universe is. To try
but it happens to a lot of people, but it depends on each one of us of what we are going to do. Like you got this great gift cards, and you could just keep it, but you had the idea that you actually wanted to give to someone that needs more than you. And we always say, when we are givers, we receive much more, because the universe conspired to this. So we always receive help when we are not doing something with interest, like we studied last week. There are a lot of people that they do charity because they will get tax deductible things from the government, or because it will show up in a newspaper, or whatever reason. But when we really do from our hearts, we are always benefiting from it too. So beautiful, beautiful story, John. So we have Saul Souza. Hello, Saul. Nice to have you here. So Saul said we can be charitable, praying for others and for our enemies. Yes, definitely. That's a good charity, good and difficult, because a lot of people, when they are angry with someone or when they hate someone, the least thing they think about is praying for that person. And this is really a good exercise for all of us, and it's really beneficial. Yesterday we were studying the book Missionaries of Light, and we were analyzing how prayers can modify the body, the cells, the sick cells of a body. So we can see it, but the modification that starts happening, it's amazing. That's why in Spiritism, we believe so much, we understand so much that when you really concentrate your energy with love towards a cause, towards a person, it changes. It really changes. And in the case of the missionaries of light, was actually the wife who was praying for her husband. So this is why we decided to start this new program that will be the irradiation treatment that we will start next month, that we can all participate every Thursday, and we will be able to pray. So when we will be doing the irradiation, we will be focusing ourselves, our physical and spiritual body, but also the people that we love. So we will be sending this vibrations to people that we love and we can't hug and kiss right now, and it's so difficult. We pray for ourselves. Don't go crazy and go kissing people on the street. I need this, like, oh, calm down, Angela.
When
You know,
when I go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, I just wanted to say that I felt like Kardec, when you were talking about the critic and, you know, what is Spiritism in the first part of the show tonight, Angie, you know, he was really exemplifying charity when he, you know, he knew he couldn't convince this man. And it was really the loving, gentle, kind thing to do, to just be goodbye, you know, and that's one of the things that this chapter talks about, is charity is being non-judgmental, and it's not wounding another's self-esteem. And there's one section that I think is really beautiful, that the Spirit is actually really talking to us spiritists. And the Spirit says, you know, that for spiritists, the way we can be really charitable is when we are interacting with people who think differently than us, that that we assist other people's enlightenment or evolution, however you want to call it, not, but, you know, by sharing the good news, but not by shocking them with it or attacking their convictions, but, you know, welcoming them and sharing and letting people find their own way through their own heart, because really, otherwise, you know, we have to feel it, right? So I thought it was just really special that they actually, you know, were delivering a message to the really beautiful.
Yeah, and this is super nowadays. You know, we see all the time. Like, for example, here in the United States, the politics. It's people are so divided. Like, if you are blue, I hate you because I'm red, and it's crazy. And we have to understand we have our differences and try to live with it. And it's very important for us to not to engage in this negativity. And yes, if we can be more I don't even know if the word is that, but condolescent, like if we can have more patient, more understanding, not to be so super judgmental, not try to impose our beliefs. And of course, pray for the situation, whatever situation. I just gave one example. So yes, and this is our how can I say, it's not our job, but it's our duty as a spiritist, because we know more. We know that if we are trying to be better, we cannot attack others. If they are attacking us, we cannot attack back, because we are not being better. We are being the same. We are just giving back the negativity we are receiving.
And
This is good.
isn't it correct that um, charity begins where duty ends. I think, yeah, that's the little saying, and that's you know, that
Yeah.
Well,
charity really is that thing above and beyond. You know, when we think about, you know, when it has to, you know, it's really something that comes from the heart. It's not the extra.
Yes. Yes.
Only the extra. But it was interesting to point it out that.
John, do you want to say something?
good. I was going to say that when you put together the power of prayer and charity, be surprised what happens. At the end, if you have someone you don't get along with, if you have someone at work that you see every day, try praying and sending love and sending light to them. A person that has treated you bad, try that, and you'd be surprised what you find. In addition, Spiritism, for me, my mother used to say, pray for your grandmother, pray for your grandfather who passed. And I would go, oh, okay, I don't know. Spiritism, the spirits on the other side tell us, please keep the prayers coming. It makes us feel well. It's medicine for us. And then you think of what the power of prayer can do. So try for people that are argumentative towards you, try praying for them. It's amazing what happens. I've seen it time and time again. Love at the end and prayer overcomes any kind of hatred and ill will. It's amazing.
Yeah, it can destroy cemented walls. John, I have a funny sentence here from Saul. So Saul is saying, friends, let's go to Jupiter. I'm tired of this world already. As most of spiritists know, Jupiter is is actually the most enlightened planet of our solar system. But yeah, so the enlightened spirits also tell us if we go to a planet that is so much more elevated than us, we would suffocate within 5 minutes. Suffocate why? Because in these very, very elevated planets, the thoughts are visible. So whatever you think, boom, is right there. Everybody sees each other's thoughts. So imagine me in an elevated planet. I go there, and there is this beautiful lady with this amazing dress. And my thought, oh my God, I want one like that. So immediately it's like, oh God, you would feel so embarrassed of your thoughts that you wouldn't be able to stay there. And I just imagine the face of the enlightened spirits. Oh, poor child. Oh, give it to her a dress like that. So that's why we really have to conquer little by little. So when we arrive there, we have like the knowledge and we have the moral to be there. But it's a good thought anyway. What else, guys? We have to jump into compassion. We have only 5 minutes. There is so many beautiful messages from Caritas because she actually wrote 3 of the messages here. But then there is a message also very beautiful from Jean, the message number 16. But you guys should talk about. Do you want to talk about something else before we jump into compassion?
Well, I just want to say that they were clear to talk about this is not a matter of materials, because they said, you know, wealthy and the poor, all of us have something to give.
Yes.
And, you know, they were pointing out to the poor that they can be charitable by accepting their poverty without complaining. And I know, Angie, we like complaining, right? You talk a lot about it. We love complaining. But for the wealthy, even though you know, for wealthy people to give money is not really charity, because that's an easy thing. You know, it's so much extra for them. But what they really hone in on is time.
Yeah.
That time is sharing of their time is a way that wealthy people can be charitable, and also, you know, in doing good with their wealth.
Mhm.
So that's you know, that's something to think about, is that you know, any useful work is good, which is
Mhm.
therefore charitable. So we need to just, you know, kind of look and see, what am I doing? Is it good? Is it helping anybody?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Beautiful.
about 5 years ago, in the United States, there was a time when random acts of kindness were the rage. And the nice thing about random acts of kindness is you didn't know who did it, but
Mm.
at the same time, it just showed a little kindness. It brought a little spark of gratitude to the person who got it. I remember going through tolls and telling at that time, there was a person taking the tolls. Here's a toll for the person behind. And when it happened to me, I go, wow, out of no want of any kind of reward, look what that person did. They didn't even see who I am. And I think that's one of the important things in charity, not to expect to be recognized for what you do. And the
Yeah.
work that you do in charity is incredible, and you never ask to be recognized for that, so that's admirable on your part. But that's what people should get used to, because just doing that makes such a difference in people's attitudes. Who gets the random kindness? I think we should bring that back.
Yeah, yeah, it's beautiful when we can help others. And you know, the my group, the Volunteers of Love, we only can do because all of you who always contribute, and you too are part of it, always contributing. So it's wonderful. That's what I always say, that you know, alone we can do this, but together we can do so much more. So that's why it's so beautiful. There are so many groups everywhere doing charity, and it's wonderful. Of course, we always say that the news only sell the bad stuff, because that's what the majority is into, like, wow, accidents, death, suicide. But there is so many goodness being done every day, and then so it's part of us to share with others. You know, let's share positiveness, because there is good things done everywhere every day. Thank you, Lord. So we have like 2 minutes. What can we talk about? Compassion. So
Well,
just before we say, compassion is the sister of charity. I was thinking about this family. I'm like, oh my God, such a beautiful family.
well, so right away we're reminded that compassion is what Jesus practiced and what he taught. So it's that, really, that feeling within for another. It's the thing that it moves us toward charity, because we first have to like feel the other's discomfort in our own heart. And
Exactly.
yeah, and it just warns about becoming indifferent, how that can really stagnate us when we kind of get numb to other people's sufferings.
Yes. Yeah, that's the definition. That's exactly this. It's like that's this feeling that allows your heart, is written in 17 if you have the book. So
Mhm.
allows your heart to be moved with compassion before the miseries and sufferings of your fellow beings. Your tears are a balm which you pour out on their wounds. I'm like, wow, this was so beautiful. And this is what happens to all of us. Like, you see something For example, I am absolutely crazy about animals. And then someone posts a picture of an animal they rescue, and the animal has some, and there are so many loving people really focus on animals, sometimes even more than on people. But then they really bring the animal to be treated and then needs a surgery. And that feeling of this poor thing has nobody for him, and then moves people to donate money towards that cause, or to donate an action, or to donate their time to bring him to a vet. So it's a compassion is a feeling that we all have. We all have, but sometimes it's like it's under a bunch of layers that even the person do not recognize they have this feeling hidden there. So, John, do you want to say something before we end about
So
compassion?
I get confused with empathy and compassion.
Well,
Empathy for me is like
empathy. Yeah, empathy for me, it's like understanding you are going through a difficult time, and I feel empathy. I understand your pain. It's tough. It's really hard. Compassion, it's further. Compassion is like moves you into action. It's further than understanding. I understand and I want to help you. That's like more. It's for me. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is my understanding that compassion is further than empathy. Empathy is like, I know you're going through a hard time. There are thousands of people going through a hard time because of COVID right now. But compassion is like you are going through a hard time. You live alone. You are in a wheelchair. You cannot go through your vaccination. It moves me into I need to help you.
Yeah.
So
And also
I
when we practice compassion, we're empowering another person.
yeah
Just I think it still goes along with that little saying, if you give a man a fish, he eats for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, he eats for
yeah
life. It's like empowering. Uh,
yes
yeah. So, and it's also, it's not just identifying, but I think it's coming more from the heart, like beyond just that this makes me sad, so it's more this is sad for this person, and
yes
moving
yes
out of ourself.
yes, beautiful. I love our gospel studies. I love it. But our time is gone. It's already 10:04. John, would you like to do our final prayer before we close?
Sure. Happy to.
Thank you.
Mother, Father, God, creator of all that is, thank you for our lessons that you give us, and thank you for our blessings. May we become a conduit of your love and light. Thank you for bringing us together again so we may learn to be more compassionate, to be more charitable, to be more benevolent, and take the experience from this evening and bring it to our friends, our family, to our work, and people we don't know, so we can make this world a better place where people can love and share and be attached to each other and know we're all in this together, and there's always hope and there's always help and hope for everyone. Thank you, God, for this hour and for all the people who take part, because we are all part of this earth and part of this planet and part of this universe where we all can benefit, share, and love. Thank you. So be it.
So be it. Very good, John. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Teresa. Thank you so much to all of you that are watching now or are going to be seeing us recorded later. I just want to remind you, I said in the beginning of the video, next month we are going to start a new program. So we are going to have What is Spiritism from 8:30 to 9. Then we are going to have the God at Home and the irradiation treatment from 9 to 10. So I hope you guys can all join us and continue your own irradiation of love at distance for now. Thank you so, so much to all of you. And I hope to see you next Thursday. Thank you, guys. Bye, John. Bye, Teresa. Thank you. Have a great night, great weekend, everybody. See you soon.
Yeah.